awesome Friday afternoon. I'm out on my porch. This is just my favorite time of year, autumn. And my 11-year-old is with me this weekend. And, you know, I always associate my son being with me as just being able to just breathe for several days. And then when he goes back, then I get kind of sad again. But I always know that he's coming back, you know, so every 12 days or so I get like some relief. And then, you know, it's kind of like taking a nice exhale. So, you know, that being said, you know, there's so many of you who don't have any access to your kids. And so I know how difficult that must be. So we're just going to get right to it. This is, the topic today is the whole appeals process and why most parents don't appeal. And all parents feel pain and anguish when they have their kids taken from them. And I'm sure all of you, you know, feel like, oh, I should appeal this. And so here's the thing about appeals. I'm going to talk about why most parents don't appeal. The reason most parents don't appeal, there's several. If you've been at this for some time, you get it. I know you get it. What your attorney is going to tell you, likely, by the way, this is Mark Ludwig's organization, AFESP.com. He's if you don't know him, go find him on Facebook. He's just amazing. He goes all around the country and promotes equal parenting laws, and I am a complete supporter of equal parenting, so definitely check him out. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh my God, I literally save my coffee for live streams, so it's just So anyway, getting back to why most parents don't appeal. So what happens is you get your orders and you're like, oh my God, I just lost my kids. This sucks. You know, I just spent $15,000-$20,000 to lose, and what do I do? Like, you know, you're panicked. You're just like freaking out. Like, what is my life going to look like now? Your attorney most likely will tell you that you can't appeal, and your best bet is to modify the orders at some point in the future. You're going to get this magical change in circumstances, and you're going to go back to court, and that's like the ticket. That's like the ticket to get back in the court door is change in circumstances. So your attorney is going to tell you to wait, you know, oh, you have to have a change in circumstances, and then you go back and modify it. And most parents are like, okay, fine. I'll just have a change in circumstances. I'll go back to the court, and we'll just start all over again. And maybe, just maybe, I won't have a masterful bully as my judge, and I'll get a fair judge who knows what's best for my kid, and we'll just start all over. And maybe I'll just roll the dice again, and things will be fine. And that's what any parent who's been at this less than 5 years is probably in that mindset. And I was one of those parents. So that's one option, is to just wait around, let your kids suffer for a year or 2 years, and then you go back, you file your motion to modify, you get your family study, and if you don't know your Fourth Amendment rights, you're going to agree to the study. That's another 4 to 8 month process. So you've already waited like a year and a half, and then you go and you do your family study, that's like 4 to 8 months, so now you're coming close to 2 years. And because parents don't understand that these family studies are an invasion of their privacy under the First Amendment, under the Fourth Amendment, it's actually a violation of the Fifth Amendment, because the family study is, you know, these are hired guns that work for the court that are brought in to get you to basically give them bad information so that they can write a bad report about you, and then you can lose your kid again. But most parents don't know that. Most parents think, well, I'm a good person, the family study person will be fine, and everything's going to be fine. You know, it doesn't work that way. So then you're at 2 years, and then you have to litigate. You know, you might have to like litigate a little bit more and get, you know, your status conferences and your pre-trial blah blah blah, all that garbage. So that's another 3-4 months, and then you have your actual trial. You go, you throw your mud at each other. He's a bad person, she's a bad person, I'm a good person. Judge, please give me an opinion of who you think is best. What do you think is best for my kid? You're basically asking the court again to formulate an opinion, and then and then it takes 2 to 4 months for the judge to even have an opinion. And you get your results in the mail, and so now you're at like 2.5 years of all that just to get new orders. And so I'm so sorry to say this, but I have never seen a parent in 9 years. I have never ever seen a parent go from like having no rights and like 4 days a month of parenting time or like supervised visitation or whatever that horrible abusive arrangement is for your child. I have never seen a parent go from that to equal, ever, by litigating and asking the judge for an opinion once again. I've never seen that go well. You're still the second class parent. You're still a piece of crap parent. The state is still going to abuse you and mistreat you and marginalize you as a fit parent. So you're not really in a better position with all the mental and emotional resources and the financial resources and logistical resources, just standing in that courtroom over, day after day after day and going through all that just to get like maybe a little bit more parenting time. I've never seen a parent who has no rights, like no legal rights, like decision-making wise, get rights. If you still have that, like, this parent gets final say over the child, I've never seen that get reversed to an equal arrangement. I'm sure that's happened, but I've just never seen it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not a fan of the modification route. And the other damning piece of that is that, let's say, so what judges do is they insert lies and fabrications and fraud into your case to justify taking your kid away. Because if you're a good person and you're a good parent, the judge has to come up with something. They have to be like, oh crap, this parent has nothing wrong with her or him. Well, I'm going to have to make something up. So they just take their like magic 8-ball, and they say, what excuse should I use with this person? And then alcoholic. Okay, great. Parent A is an alcoholic, and they'll just put that in there, even if the word alcohol never even came up in your case. The judge will just insert that just because it's an opinion. And opinions by a judge become fact. It's not supposed to, but the appeals court sees that as a fact. It's a finding of fact, So if a judge says that you are too outspoken, judges will make character assessments as if they are, as if that's their job. They make character observations that somehow turn into like a finding of fact. So if I thought my neighbor next door is a nice person, that's an opinion. It's an opinion that I think my neighbor's a nice person. But if a judge says so-and-so is a nice person, it becomes a fact. Like, okay, you think something, that makes it a fact, really? That's a whole nother live stream. So anyway, I don't remember where I was going with all this. I just get like, this just pisses me off so much. So I'm not a fan of going down the modification route, because once again, you're relying on the opinion of a judge to decide whether or not you get to be a fit parent. You get to be a parent. So the other option that's not popular, most parents believe this option is out of reach, is appealing. I remember what I was saying. If a judge makes an opinion that a parent is like an alcoholic or a parent has an anger issue, the problem with the modification later on is that old quote unquote fact becomes a fact still. It's like they pretend that it's like a constant. Like they actually will apply the old finding of fact from 5 years ago, and they'll use it in a contemporary trial, and then you recycle the old excuse and use that excuse all over again to deny you your child. So you're really in no better position. You're really not. So getting back to the appeal. So the other option, like I said, is to appeal. And I'm a fan of appeals, okay? And I know that most parents believe deep down in their core that they can't appeal unless they have a lawyer. And the problem with a lot of lawyers is that the lawyers just say, you're not going to win, You're just going to piss off the judge if you appeal. If you file an appeal and then you go back to court in like 2 months for some random thing, the judge is going to know that you appealed his orders and he's going to hate you and you're going to lose time with your kid. So a lawyer will try to talk you out of appealing a lot of times. In family law, from all the research I've done, most appeals from family law that are successful are due to like financial issues, like too much alimony was paid or the child support was calculated incorrectly. It's those things. It's not ever the judge should not have taken the kid away and he did anyway. It's never really that. So a lawyer will tell you like you have no chance. You're better off just going to modify. And a lot of that is lawyers just really having no faith in family law. You know, why should they? Family law is not rooted in law. It's rooted in narcissistic legal bullying. So it's I understand why attorneys are telling their clients this. So as a parent, you're stuck. You know, you could either go down this abusive rabbit hole and modify and have all this bad stuff happen to you all over again, or you can appeal, but you can't get an attorney that will support you. So what do? Like you're literally stuck. So my firm belief, and I believe in this because I believe in humanity. I believe in people. I believe in the strength of the human spirit. And this is why. As a person, as a parent, you are a hell of a lot stronger than you think. The problem with you, if you're not appealing pro se, it's because you have the wrong mindset. You're not in the right mindset to appeal. And I get why. You know, you've just been assassinated by, you know, your character has been assassinated. You lost your child. You know, you lost a ton of money just to lose your child. I understand why you're choosing not to do that. It makes perfect sense. The reason parents aren't appealing is because they are not in the correct mindset to have the confidence and the fortitude to appeal without a lawyer. So I went through like, you know, why you don't want to appeal. I went through that. And what you need to do as a parent is you need to tap into your inner God or your inner goddess. You need to tap into like what makes us special as human beings. Just imagine this. You're being chased by a bear, and you're just being chased for 20 miles by this bear. You're going to, and let's just assume the bear can't run faster than you, just for the argument's sake. You're going to outrun that bear. Even if you have to run 20 miles, you're going to do it because the will to survive is stronger than your ego and your thoughts like, oh, my legs aren't strong enough. I'm tired. I can't breathe. You're not going to pay attention to those excuses that you're going to tell yourself and why you should stop, because all you're thinking of is this bear is chasing me. So that that ability to just push through that horrible challenge is what makes us unique. And this is why you can appeal, because we all have this in our DNA. You're going to have broken ankles and blisters and you're going to be miserable, but you're going to be alive. And that's because the human spirit knows how to make us do those things. So if you decide to go pro se and do your own appeal, you're going to have inner voices that are going to tell you, you can't do this. You can't afford the transcripts. You can't afford the printing costs. You're not smart enough to research. You're not a lawyer. You can't do this. You don't know enough. You're going to tell yourself that the other side is too strong. The other side has an attorney. No other parent has done this. You're going to have 20 excuses why you shouldn't appeal. And I'm telling you right now that you can appeal. You just have to get into the right mindset. And whatever is needed to appeal, you can do that. If you could read and type, you can appeal. And even if you can't type, you could just get someone to type for you. Like, you can do this. And don't let outside factors get in the way of your ego, because it's your ego that's telling you that you can't do it. And just don't pay attention. And so another reason why parents don't appeal, aside from all that, is because emotionally it's very difficult to comb through page after page after page of character assassination, and that is done on purpose to reduce your confidence. And trust me, the judges want you to appeal those nasty opinions. That's like, it's bait, you know. It's like the judge wants you to go after those opinions, like the fake stuff they put in, and that's done on purpose. I encourage you to make comments in the chat, and we could get a conversation going about appeals and why parents don't appeal, and how we can, you know, muster up the confidence and the fortitude to actually appeal without a lawyer. So I'm going to be closing. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I love you all. Okay, bye-bye.